Hi everyone, I made a solo variant for Compile, and if you'd like to check it out, go straight to the rules, check out this timestamp right here. If you don't know what Compile is, check out this video or a bunch of other videos I have links to in the chat. Before I get into it, I just want to quickly explain why I did this. So I wanted a cool solo variant for Compile almost like since I grabbed the game. I grabbed the game and I was like, I want to play this now, like why do I have to have another person with me? And I'm not the only one. I've seen several other people try to put out solo variants online, and they each come with their own issues. My main issue with all of the variants that have come out so far is that with all of these other variants, I'm always having to make decisions on behalf of the AI opponent, and I don't really want to do that. When I do that, it feels like I'm just sort of playing against myself, like I'm playing chess with myself, and that doesn't feel great, right? So my variant here is taking a very different approach. You're never making a decision on behalf of the AI because I've made 15 custom protocols that are available for print and play or available to use on TTS. So without further ado, let's get into this variant, which I've been calling Rogue Protocols. This video features custom content created for the game Compile. I do not claim ownership of the game, its artwork, rules, or any associated intellectual property. All elements presented, including card designs, terminology, formatting, and mechanics, are unofficial and fan-made. This content is provided freely and is not affiliated with, endorsed by, or representative of the official Compile game or its creators. Alright, so the game plays nearly identically to a normal game of Compile, at least from your perspective, but the AI does have some rules that govern the way it behaves. So we're going to learn how the AI works, and we're also going to learn that the AI has an alternative win condition, which we're going to get to later. To begin, choose 3 random protocols for your opponent with the new protocols that I made that I'm calling Rogue Protocols. Shuffle them together and then create a deck like you normally would for yourself. Exclude the love protocol. I did make it just so people could have it if they wanted to use it for their own variants, but it's not going to work in this variant. Shuffle their deck and draw them out 5 cards in a horizontal line, all cards face down, to form their hand. Now choose 3 protocols for yourself and shuffle it up, draw out 5 cards, and you'll set yourself up the way you normally would. The only difference for setup for yourself is that you're going to need something else. Maybe it's dice, tokens, or a piece of paper to keep track of your health. That's right, I said health. Now it's not what you think. It's not going to be a totally different game, but you are going to keep track of how much health you have before you lose the game. This mode does use control, so place a control component in between you and the AI. By the way, I'll be calling the AI the Rogue for most of the rest of this video. The Rogue takes the first turn. So the Rogue's overall turn structure and the way it behaves is pretty similar to how a regular player behaves, but there are just a few key things to note. One is, how does the Rogue's hand work? And 2, how does the Rogue decide what cards are getting played, flipped, shifted, or whatever? Alright, so let's start with the hand. Unlike the player's hand, in this variant, the Rogue's hand works like a cue. So I had you lay out 5 cards face down to form the Rogue's hand. The card leftmost is going to be the front of their hand, and the card rightmost is going to be the back. There are 3 key things to remember when it comes to the Rogue's hand. Alright, number 1, whenever it comes time to play a card from the Rogue's hand, they will always play the front card. Number 2, whenever it's time for the Rogue to get a card, any card ever enters their hand, they will always enter from the back of the queue. And number 3, when it comes time to discard cards, they will also discard cards from the back of the queue. At this point, you might be wondering why that is, and it'll make more sense here in a second. So now that we understand how the Rogue's hand works, let's talk about how Rogue targeting works, how the Rogue actually chooses what it is that it's going to do. And to understand that, you first need to understand this concept that I came up for just this variant here. This is not official language by any means, but I call it just clockwise and counterclockwise. All right, let's take a look at this. So you have this configuration of the lines here. If we start at this Rogue Life card here and we were to go clockwise, we would have this Rogue Life, Rogue Light, Rogue Metal, then Speed, then Fire, then apathy. That makes sense? If we were to start at this rogue life card again and we were to go counterclockwise, we would be going rogue life, apathy, fire, speed, rogue metal, rogue light. Okay, every card in this game, every card that the rogue uses is always going to target cards either clockwise or counterclockwise, and not just cards, stacks, lines, whatever the relevant target might be. So let's take a look at an example. So let's take a look at this life card. All right, it says flip one card, flip one card. Whenever you start seeking, whenever a card seeks, it's always going to seek adjacent to it. It's never going to start in its own stack. In this instance, it says this card seeks targets counterclockwise, flip one card, flip one card. So we're at the life protocol here, rogue life protocol. We'll check the apathy for a card to flip. There is no card. We'll check fire for a card to flip. There is no card. We'll check speed. There's a card to flip. And so it'll flip it. The rogue will always act on the first valid target that it finds. So as soon as it finds a target, it's going to flip that target. Now we have to flip another card. If you ever have more than one target, like let's say for a shift, you have to find a card and then find a line to shift it to, just continue seeking from where you left off until you find a new target. So we ended here on the speed line, and now we are going to continue to the metal line where lo and behold, we found a target, and so it's going to flip that card too. And that's the way that the rogue's hand works. We'll go through a few more examples. So metal 0, this says my total value in this line is reduced by 2, and this card seeks clockwise. Then flip one card. So clockwise, we're starting in the rogue metal. We go this way and we find speed, and it's gonna flip my card. And then I get to shift one of their face down cards, but I don't have a card to flip. Notice the rogue doesn't try to do like the most optimal thing in any situation. It's gonna just kind of be chaotic. That's the point. And the rogue's going to have an alternative win condition to make up for that fact. Also, one thing to note, you can quickly see which way a card is going to be seeking by checking the top right corner of the card. So in this case, the card is going to be obviously seeking clockwise. All right, now we check out what the rogue's next card is going to be. And it's going to be a life 0. All right, so life 0 plays a card in any line that the rogue already has a card in. This card does seek targets. It is relevant which line we do first, especially if, for example, the rogue has only one card on the top of its deck. This card seeks clockwise, so we're going to start clockwise to this line. So we played here. We're looking at this line. There is no card here, so the rogue doesn't play a card here. There is a card here, so the rogue's going to get a card off the top of the deck and play here. And we're still moving clockwise, so we'll go all around. Obviously, none of these stacks are relevant or valid because they're my stacks. And we come back around to the life stack. And finally, we put a card down on life. And that was the rogue's turn. Okay, hopefully you're getting a good idea now how the rogue targets. This is what I'm calling the simple version of targeting. There is a slightly more, not too much more advanced, but slightly more advanced version that I'll explain later on towards the end of the video. By the way, if it ever comes time for the rogue to play a card for their action phase and they can't, they're just going to refresh. So control still mostly works the way it always has. Either player can use it to rearrange protocols whenever they refresh or they compile. How the AI rearranges we'll get into just a little bit later on in the video. But for now, there are two new rules that you need to understand when it comes to control. One for when you gain control and another for when the AI gains control. All right, first let's talk about this control reward. So there's a new perk for the player whenever they gain control. While the player has control and immediately after the control phase, you get to reveal the front card of the rogue's hand. You may keep it revealed until you lose control. Having control will give you an edge as you'll be able to see exactly what the opponent is going to be doing on their turn and react appropriately, so be sure to fight for it. However, if the rogue gets their hands on the control component, you're in big trouble. First, let's talk about how the rogue rearranges protocols. So, if you're using the simple targeting rules, the rogue will only ever rearrange its own protocols. All protocols will move either clockwise or counterclockwise. To find out which one, whenever it comes time for the rogue to rearrange protocols, flip and look at the top card of the rogue's deck, and then look at the top right symbol of that card. If the symbol is a clockwise symbol, you will rearrange protocols clockwise, and otherwise, you will rearrange protocols counterclockwise. If the rogue's deck happens to be empty when it comes time to do this, then the rogue just won't rearrange protocols at all. So that's how rearrangement works, but now let's get into the big penalty if the rogue ever gains control. Whenever the rogue gains control, and as soon as that control phase ends, you are going to take 1 damage, which is going to be explained in the next section. Damage is the rogue's win condition. The win condition for the player is the same as it always has been. Compile all 3 of your protocols, but this time before you lose all your health. Health is the rogue's unique victory condition. Because the way that these protocols work, the rogue isn't trying to do what's best for itself. In fact, a lot of the times it will do stuff that actively hurts itself. Instead of trying to rearrange all 3 of its protocols, the rogue is just trying to do enough stuff. Really, it's just trying to compile whatever it can or take control. Whenever the rogue compiles an uncompiled protocol, you are going to lose 5 of your health. Whenever the rogue compiles an already compiled protocol, you will lose 3 of your health. And at the end of the rogue's control phase, if the rogue has control, you will also lose 1 health. So that's the gist of the game. Compile all 3 of your protocols before the rogue does enough stuff, and you win. Now I have a few additional but very important rules. So when it comes to the rogue's turn, they will always play cards face up if they can. If the rogue is forced to play face down, then just pick a random line for it to go into. If it comes time for the rogue to play a card and they have no cards in hand, the rogue will refresh. A very few select cards will say player does X. In those instances, you will do what the card says and you will do what's in your best interest. In this variant, neither you nor the rogue steal cards from one another. It just gets too messy trying to figure out where the rogue's going to play their cards, and the rogue cards aren't actually very useful to you because they're very specific and they say the rogue does this or the rogue does that. So in this variant, we don't take any cards, and that's why I said at the beginning we're not going to use love. Now if you'd like to come up with your own version that uses that sort of ruling where you can take cards or can use love, be my guest. Alright, now that's all the rules that you need to play, but we'll get into a couple more optional things here. You can adjust the difficulty pretty easily by just changing how much life you start with. So I'd say 11 would be the norm, but if you want to go make it easier for yourself, you could start with like 15. If you want to make it impossible for yourself, you could try 7 health to start with. So I'll leave that up to you. There are other ways to make it easier for yourself too. So for example, you could have the rogue's front card always be visible if you wanted to play that way. So go ahead and customize the game to your liking. Alright, so let's quickly talk about the advanced version of targeting. It's actually not that much more advanced. It's just a slightly more upkeep because you're going to have another component to keep track of this thing, which I'm calling the reticle here. But let's just quickly see how it works, okay? Let's see what card the rogue is going to play here. He's going to play a speed 4. Okay, at the end of the turn, if rogue has 3+ cards in hand, which they do, shift 1 rogue card. If a card was shifted by this card, flip this card. Okay, easy peasy. So the main difference between the simple and advanced version of targeting is that in the simple version, you'll always just start from where the card was played, and you'll actually start like clockwise or counterclockwise to that card, right? So we would start looking here, and this would be the card that we're going to shift. This is going to be the shifted card. But in this case, we're going to always start from the reticle, whichever stack the reticle is instead. And this reticle can end up, this reticle can end up on any of your stacks as well, okay? So, because we have the reticle in this stack, we're first going to look for a rogue card. Actually, we're going to go clockwise from the reticle. So we're going to go here, 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 and we find the water protocol here. So this is going to be the card that we shift, and because we need to find a new target, we're just going to keep going, and it's going to end up being shifted here. That actually cancels out the second line of this card, which is actually pretty good for the rogue. Now, the other thing to remember is that once you do that, once you find all your targets, wherever that final target was, you're going to move the reticle to that stack. And again, this is how the reticle can end up on one of your stacks. So now, when we play another rogue card, we're going to start from the reticle, no matter what the card is played. And that's the only difference. Like I said, it's not... I don't know if it's a better way or a worse way to do things. It just seems like a different way to do things. One cool thing is if the reticle ever ends up on your side of the field, then when it comes time for the rogue to rearrange protocols, they can end up rearranging your protocols instead, doing the same rules that we did from before. So my main goal with this variant was just to have a version of this solo mode where you made as little decisions as possible on behalf of the AI. I really wanted to keep the spirit of the original cards when I made all the rogue versions of them. I decided pretty early on that I was going to make the odd numbers go counterclockwise and the even numbers go clockwise, and I just decided to stick to it. I'd really appreciate your feedback and letting me know how it feels to play. I've played this mode a few times and I was actually having a really good time with it. I should have said this first. To keep the spirit of cards that said May, that gave the opponent an option, I just replaced them with the clause if the rogue has 3+ cards in hand, and it ends up creating some pretty interesting and fun moments. And real quick, special thanks to NZ3R0K. This is a guy who made this custom tool that I used to help create all these custom protocols. So that was a massive weight off my shoulders. It made making this whole thing way faster. It still took me quite a few days to get it all done, but without him, I don't think I would have had the drive to make all these. It would have taken weeks. All right, that's the version. That's Rogue Protocols. I hope you enjoy, test it out, play around with it, let me know what works, what doesn't. This is the very first version of it, so it's probably going to be a little rough around the edges. There might be some things I hadn't thought of yet, so if you have any of that, leave the feedback in the comments. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much, and have a good day. All right, hello everybody. I decided to add this part in at the last second. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a full playthrough of this game mode so you can see what it's like. If there's any rule confusion, hopefully this will completely dissipate it. You can see what it feels like to play, and I hope you enjoy. So I did say to begin with, we're gonna pick 3 random protocols. Let me just shuffle this deck up real quick and draw 3. All right, and this is what we're playing against. We are playing against Plague, Life, and Gravity. Rogue Gravity, Rogue Life, Rogue Plague. We'll give those to our opponent. All right, and now I'm going to pick some protocols. Let me think here. I guess I'm gonna go Death. Maybe Water. I like Water. They took Gravity. Well, I can also get Gravity if I want. I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, but do not treat your gravity the same as their gravity, like Rogue Gravity. That might make things a little confusing. I usually prefer, like, if they have Plague, Rogue Life, and Rogue Gravity, I'll just get something else completely. And, well, let's do Psychic. Okay, take these, shuffle that up, draw 5, and we begin. The rogue takes the first turn, so let's see what they'll play. Always take it from the front of their hand, and we got a life 4. If this card is covering a card, the rogue draws a card. Okay, nothing else happens. I do want to start fighting for control right off the bat, so let me see if there's anything good in the Psychic line I can play. Yeah, the Psychic 4 here, and then at the end I can return one of their cards, and then I'll end up flipping this card. Now the card's gonna get returned at the back of their hand. That's always how it works here, but at least we know that this card is that life 4. Excellent. And this card gets flipped. All right, rogue, your turn. Life 5. Oh, that's interesting. So they play the life 5. They actually end up discarding this guy. Okay, because they always discard from the back as well. We want the rogue to be pretty predictable. This is meant to be kind of like more of a puzzle, you know, as opposed to just a bunch of random things happening or feeling like you're playing against yourself. Delete all cards in one line with a value of 1 or 2. I think I would have to choose this line, my own line, if I do that, which I don't want to do. So I need a way to fight for, I need more cards. That's what I need. Let's play Psychic 0. So I draw 2 cards and they'll discard 2 cards. What's your last card in your hand? A Plague 5. Oh, that's great for it. Oh man. So they might gain control on their next turn, which is not good. We really need a way to fight for control here. This could help us for now. This would be like a quick, so what we do here, we flip one of the cards. So let's flip there. Doesn't really matter, I think. Or we can contest Psychic. So let's just do life here. And then we got to flip this card. So that does a couple things. So now they won't gain control, which is great. And then they get to refresh. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, back to me. Let's continue fighting for control here. I don't think I need this Psychic 1 right now. Let's see what they get. Life 2, rogue draws 1 card. If rogue has 3 cards in hand, flip 1 face down card. Is there any face down card to target? Yeah, there's only 1 option for them, so this is going to be what they end up flipping. Flip 1 other card. Oh, I get to do this again. This is great. Okay, that was pretty good for me. They still have more in this line here, so I'm going to still try to fight that. I have 2 cards to take away all the 2s in one line, which is not necessarily something I want to do right now. Actually, yes it is, because if I do this, before I do this, let me play this here to try to just get like something in this line so I can finally get control. Let's see if we get it. Gravity 6, so no, I play the top card of my deck face up here. And I'll play the water 3. I'll return this card back to my hand, and the rogue will get both of these cards back in its hand. Whoops. Okay, so they will not gain control. Let's see what they play. Gravity 4. Ooh, they're about to compile here. Shift 1 face down card to this line, and this goes clockwise, so it's gonna end up shifting this to this line. Okay, that's both good and bad. So he's almost definitely gonna compile in this line. However, I do gain control. So I get to now see what the next card they're gonna play is, and that's gonna be Plague 2. Rogue discards all but 1 card. Player discards the amount of cards discarded plus 1. Oof. So I'm just going to discard my hand. Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, I'm going to have an empty hand, so that's actually not going to be too bad. But can I do anything about them compiling right now? No, not really. And what was this card again? Was that a 5? I can make them discard a card. That's something. What about this? Your opponent discards 1 card. Shift 1 of their cards. Oh, that's not enough. I don't think I can stop them from compiling here. That's unfortunate. So we're going to lose some health. That's okay. We'll be fine. So flip 1 other card. We'll flip the Plague. Well, the Plague 3 is about to go away. We might as well flip it though. Actually, I don't want to shift 1 of their cards. You can't tell I'm not very good at this game. So flip 1 other card. I'll flip their own card. So that's their Plague 5. So they're just gonna have to discard a card. Then I'll flip this card. So they're gonna get to compile, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So let's just delete everything here and delete everything here. And I lose 5 health. So I'm down to 6. That's okay. We can do this. We have control. Oh, but we have to refresh right now. That's highly unfortunate because they're about to play this. Let's see what their next card is going to be. So first they discard all but 1 card. So, they're only going to discard 1 card, and we'll discard 2 cards. That's okay. Oh, we had to spend this before we did that. You're supposed to spend it before you actually look at your card. So I guess I'll just not do anything for now. I have my Psychic 2 anyways. It's not a big deal. Let's get rid of this guy and this guy. Okay, so we got rid of 2 cards here. We're going to, again, fight. Oh, actually, we have control, so we have control. That's good. And that lets us keep looking at that card. Death 4. Yeah, I might just do this for control, because now I want to hold on to control. Especially now. Control maybe isn't as important at the beginning of the game, but you do get to look at their hand, which is nice. I didn't make the most use of it. All right, actually I never even read what they were about to do. Whenever I discard a card, they draw a card. Okay, and then he's gonna make me discard a card. Okay, and they draw a card. I still have control, so I'll get to see what they're doing next. The player discards a card. The player cannot play cards in this line. Okay. Can we gain that line right now? No. So all we got is this. We'll draw 2. We'll have to discard 1 of these. We can rearrange their protocols. Before they play this, I wonder if that's useful or not. Not particularly. I'm just gonna let them have it. Oh wait, no, sorry. Rearrange my protocols. And that's not optional. I have to do that. So let's see what I got here. Delete 1 face down card. Delete 1 card from each other line. Ooh. I wish I knew what this card was. Okay, I'll just do something like this, I think. And then, yeah, so they're gonna make me discard 1 of my cards. I think I'll delete this. Hopefully they play a life card here, or else I have to discard my own card. Or I can just refresh, which is fine. So what do we get? Oh, they got a gravity card. This card seeks targets clockwise. Flip 1 card, shift that card to this line. Okay, so he's going to check here, then here, flip, shift to this line. What does this do? I gotta discard another card. Oh my god, I'm getting destroyed. Put this down here. I'm gonna get to draw 1 because of that. All right, I'm once again going to have to use this. So how am I gonna rearrange? Let me see what's in my discard pile. Death, psychic. So I'm gonna get a lot of water cards right now. In that case, I think I'm fine. I might do something like this. And let's just refresh. Again, special thanks to NZ3 Rock for the fancy buttons that let me do things very quickly. All right, let's see what you got. Flip each other face-up card. Seek targets counterclockwise. So he's gonna play this here, and he's going to go this way. So first this gets flipped, then this, then this. Oof, that's a big one. It's a big one for him. Luckily, I got a lot of big water cards in my hand. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with the water 1, and that lets you put a card face down in each other line. Perfect. Making it rain. The AI is gonna have to refresh, so at least we have that. I would like to finish this water line first to get rid of all these play cards, I think. Oh, also I gain control. So let's see what their next card's gonna be. The player deletes one of their face down cards. If the rogue has 3 cards in hand, flip this card. So they're gonna flip one of my face downs. Can I do anything about that? Maybe I shouldn't have picked death when I'm gonna have so many face down cards myself. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'll also put him in compile range. So I need 5, 6, 6. I have 5. Let's just play the water 4 here. We'll return this guy. He's gonna play the plague, which at the end of the turn he's gonna do one of my face down cards. He's gonna go this way. So he's going to delete this card. And if he has 3 plus cards in hand, flip this card. But he does not, so he gets to keep it for another round. That's unfortunate. But now we are just going to try to compile here. Let's make sure that there's no shenanigans coming up since we still have control. For every 2 cards in this line, play the top card of the rogue deck face down under this card. Okay, I think we have, yep, the death 2 to counter that. So we're safe here. If we play this, do I even need to play it face down or face up? I might be able to just do it face down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this puts me at 11. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so they're not going to compile. We're going to end up compiling this line because they're about to play the gravity 0. So all is well so far. So they're going to play this. That puts 4 cards in this row for them, except they have no cards to play because their deck is empty. Okay, that was very lucky for us. That was very lucky. Woo! And now we get to compile. Before I do, is there anything I want to compile in particular? I think we're good with compiling water. Do I want to rearrange their protocols at all? I don't think so. So I think we're going to keep it like this. They lose all their cards. Okay, so now I have 1 protocol compiled and I've lost 6 health so far, which is normal. Now, okay, so now what are you doing? I no longer have control. When this card would be covered. Okay, gotta remember that one. Do I gain control? No. And now I don't have any cards for the water line, which is highly unfortunate. Thinking about doing the death and just clearing out this line here. Maybe I'll let them play 1 more card in that line. I want control back so I can get some information. I'll see, because now I don't know what their next card's gonna be. Now I'm a little worried. From each other line. Not super helpful for me at the moment. Maybe I'll just go for the compile and hope that they don't do anything. Well, actually, before I do that, I do want to make sure that I have some control of this line here at some point. So I'll delete all the cards here. Okay, so what do we got here? Gravity 1, draw 2 cards, shift 1 card either to or from this line. So they get to draw 2 cards and they're shifting, looks like this card into this line. Okay, do I go for the compile or not? I mean, they're gonna gain control after I compile if that's the case. I think I want to refresh first because I don't want him to have control. So yes, I will refresh. Life 0. Okay, play the top card of any line that has a card in it already. So because this goes clockwise, so it's going to check this line first, then this line, the rogue gravity, and then finally this one, and this card will delete itself. Actually, before that happens, sorry, play the top card of the rogue deck face down, and another line seek targets counterclockwise. Okay, so we got a little lucky here. So sorry, let me rewind a second. So it's gonna play this card. Before that happens, the life 3 goes off, and it's gonna put a face down card here. Then it's going to play the card, and then it's going to again check here, then here. Oof. But now this gravity line's quite tall, or getting there. It's getting there. If I can get back another one of my either the water card that returns 2, or my death card that returns 2. That would be great. I think those are a little far away right now though. And I have no water cards to contest this line. It's hard. That's very, very unfortunate. Oh wait, delete all cards in one line with a value of 1 or 2. I thought I played this card. Oh, I refreshed. Did I just get lucky, or did I never play it? I don't remember. No, that was death. What was that? Hang on, let me search. I don't remember. Doesn't help me a whole lot in that line. We need points in that line still. Okay, so let's play Psychic 3 here to try to start contesting this line. We'll shift their face down card since there's no real consequences for that. Oh, and they got to discard a card. So we got that. Okay. Let's see what they got. If this card is covering a card, the rogue draws a card. Okay, they draw a card. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oof. Can I gain control on my turn? So I play this here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we're tied here, and these get deleted. And oh, well, I guess they get a card. They'll get a card back. Little unfortunate, but I'm still winning in this line. Okay. My hope is that they... Actually, I don't know what my hope is. I'm kind of in a pickle here. Flip each other face-up card. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, that was actually pretty good for me, I think. Okay. So now 3, 4, 5, 6. We're like tied. I need water cards. I cannot. I am having trouble gaining control here. So they're gonna have to refresh, which is a little nice at least. So I can go for this. I can compile. Can't compile with control though, which is unfortunate. Let's try it again. Compile with control. Nope. So it's going to go to them. They're going to have to refresh. I will at least compile. Do we want to compile death here? We want to do this because I'm not getting... I'm not sure. I'm not good at this game. Let's delete. And so now it's their turn. Okay, so don't have a good hand to be contesting things right now. Let's see what they get. Gravity 4. This card sees targets clockwise. Shift 1 face down card to this line. That doesn't really hit anything. I think I'm going to do the death 5 just to fight for... Oh no, they're going to gain control. Yeah, I don't think I can stop it. They're going to gain control and I'm going to lose 1 health for that. Okay. Flip targets counterclockwise. Flip 1 card. Or sorry, yeah, counterclockwise. Flip 1 card. Flip 1 card. Okay. They discard a card and I get to shift 1 of their cards. Oh, okay, this is great because I can do this. And now when it comes back to me, I gain control. Okay, very good. Whoops, I don't know why I should be at 5 health. I gain control. Okay, excellent. Now how are we going to use that to our advantage? Oh, I should have, I didn't flip one of these over when I compiled. Which one was it that I, it was death, wasn't it? Yep. Okay, I just need to compile 1 more time. I have control. I can do this, but I'm gonna have to refresh right now. I'll probably do this just to give him a little less of an edge here. Actually, something like this. Yeah. Or let's look at his. Okay. I think this is fine. And we will spend that to refresh. Okay, what do you got? Life 5, discard a card. I could have technically looked at their card, but it's fine. So they're at 7 in that line. Okay, so I need to start. If I gain control, I can win. I need control. I just need control and I win. Let's see if we can get rid of any of their cards. Return 1 of my cards. Delete 1 card from each other line. That actually might not be too bad. How does this work? Let's see what this does here. So if I play water, oh no, because I have to, whoops, was it water 4 I was thinking? It was water 4, but I can't. I was trying to return this, but I can't. I could just flip their cards. That would at least make me even in this line for now. They have to refresh, so that's good. Actually, they have to refresh. Can we do anything better than that? We don't want them to gain control on their turn. I don't think there's much else we can do, at least that I'm seeing. Let's just flip 1 other card. Let's flip this over and this over. So now I'm winning in this line. That means next turn, actually, the refresh is gonna go back to me, or the control is gonna go back to me. If I let them compile any other one of these protocols, I lose. So I can't let them do that. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm winning in 2 lines, so I gain control. I can see what they're doing next, so let's take a look at that. They're gonna play life 2, they're gonna draw a card, and they're gonna flip 1 face down card, and they're gonna end up flipping this card, which I don't remember what this card was, or if I ever saw it. Okay. But I have control. That's not gonna give him control, so I think I just need to build up my water line here. I think I'm fine, unless this is like a 5, in which case I'm in trouble. But I don't think it's a 5. I can also Psychic 2 if it ends up being a dangerous thing. Also, if they compile this, I only lose 3 health because it's already been compiled. So that's not too bad. Okay, I think what we do now is we just go for the win. So we'll start with, oh no, I have to return 1 of my cards with the water 4 though. That's not good. Here, let's play the Psychic 2 first, just to make sure we have something to return when we play water 4. They will discard 2 cards, and I can rearrange their protocols, or I must. Do I want the life? Oh, the life is going to be played over here, which means they'll have more in that. I want them to play life in the middle, I think. Yeah, so we'll do that, and they'll play life. They'll draw a card, and then because they have 3 or more cards in hand, they will flip 1 face down card, shift 1 face down card to this line. Going clockwise. Oh, they're gonna take my card. Your opponent discards 1 card. Okay, shift 1 of their cards. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do I just let them compile? Flip 1 card, flip 1 card. I don't want them to do that. I could just force them to compile this line, and I think that gives me an out here, because that I'll put me at 2 health. So it comes back to me. I still have control. I'll play water 4. I have to return my cards. I'll return this card since he's about to compile that line. And I'll let them do that. They already compiled this line, so I just lose 3 health. Down to 2. Okay, but I got 7 in this row here, or this line, so that's pretty good. And I have control. Actually, I should have just, I think I should have just played this here and I would have won. Yeah, I would have, I definitely would, I think I would have won there. So that was silly of me, but that's okay. So yeah, let's just play this. Let's see what they, and we could have seen what they had already. So we will, okay, they'll play gravity 6, that's fine. And we compile and we win. All right, there we go. So cutting it close with 2 health, but I think I like games to be kind of hard. From what I've seen whenever I played this game mode, I'm always cutting it close with only like 2 health or something, or 1. So again, it depends on the protocols that you choose. And this was kind of dicey, I felt, but I had a lot of fun with this one. And so I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry if, you know, obviously I'm not a very great player when it comes to compile, but we were able to eke it out. And that's it. That's the game mode. That was an example. That's Rogue Protocols. I hope you enjoy. I hope you get to play with it yourself. Go ahead and print it out if you want. Again, big thank you to N3ZR0K. He's the one who made this tabletop thing with all the buttons and all that you see. And obviously the tool that I use to make all these cards. So again, big shout out to him. Have a good night.